No, sorry. Bye. Okay, maybe see you later. All right, you guys, this is it. I know there are many questions out there. I completely understand that. We're going to cover a lot of them today in this video that will address your concerns for what are some of the things I need to know before becoming a surrogate or before even applying or before even signing a contract, right? Okay, so really quick, before we start, I'm going to put a link in the chat replay. It's going to be pinned, so if you are interested in becoming a surrogate, go ahead, click on that link, fill out the form, and I will be available for consultations via phone, via text message, Facebook Messenger, all of that cool stuff. Okay, disclaimer, this video is only for entertainment purposes only. There's no professional advice whatsoever, no professional legal advice, no professional mental health advice, no professional financial advice. This is not a professional fertility source. Another thing, really quick, this is going to be based only in my opinion. So that means that whatever my opinion is here, it's not necessarily the same opinion of any other business or businesses that I may partner with. So I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there, just in case. You guys are going to see me looking sometimes at my notes, but and that's because I don't use a teleprompter. I just let everything flow organically. And I am sorry, I know it is a little bit laggy right now. So hopefully that will get solved here in a little bit. I am going to give you guys the opportunity of anybody joins in, type down any questions that you have. That way I am aware of the things and the things that you want to know about. And if you missed this live, go ahead and write me an email to the address that you see in the title and also in the description, and then I will be saving it for next time. Now, also very important, if you think you're ready to become a surrogate and want to apply and want additional information, you are going to find a whole bunch of links in the description. If you want to speak to me directly, write me also an email to the same email address that you will see in the title. You're going to see me, you're going to hear this scratching a lot. And that is because I have to make sure that I do not repeat the same things unless there's new people coming. And of course, I definitely will do that. While you are playing this, go ahead, if you are busy, just put the phone on the side, or if you're in the car, just let it play and just listen, because I think it's still going to be just as good. So this is going to be very chill stream. However, like I said again, it's going to contain sensitive and raw information. So if you are sensitive, I would love to redirect you to another video from my channel or any other thing that you want to watch. Because yeah, I do not cover the sun with the palm of my hand. So I like the point, because I'm not about that fairy tale type of stuff. Okay, some of the questions that you guys have. For example, where is surrogacy currently illegal? Okay, it is currently illegal in Louisiana and Nebraska, and it is still illegal in Michigan. And I'm going to explain now why. I know there's going to be a few questions about that because a lot of people are spreading around that it is that it is already legal. The bill was signed by a judge in Michigan in April of this year. However, the law will not take effect until 90 days after the legislature session in Michigan is over. The legislature session ends in December 31st, 2024. So that means that 90 days after that, that's when the law will take place. So that is going to be exactly when all the families and surrogates will be able to practice compensated surrogacy safely. Okay, right now, yes, surrogacy is allowed, but not compensated, and with only special conditions. Like, for example, it needs to be a medical condition, and the embryo needs to be originally biologically theirs. But other than that, it's not going to be fully um, legal when it comes to compensation until after 90 days after the legislature session is over in Michigan. And remember, this is no legal advice, no professional legal advice. And I know that I have seen a lot of agencies say, yes, it is legal. We're taking you in, blah, blah, blah. But I personally, if you ask for my opinion, I personally do not recommend anybody to get involved in that until after early 2004, because that's going to be the safest. You just never know what's going to happen, right? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and scratch these. Really quick again, disclaimer: this video is only for entertainment purposes only. No professional advice, no professional legal advice, no professional medical advice, no professional mental health advice, no professional financial advice. Remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. And also, in the chat, you're going to find a pinned comment. If you're interested in becoming a surrogate, go ahead and fill out that form. I will get back to you immediately. If you fill out the form, if you want me to expedite the process, remember that link is going to be pinned in the chat. If you want me to expedite it, fill out the form and go ahead and send me an email to the address that you see in the title of this video. Okay, now we are going to be talking about another legal matter when it comes to Florida. Now that in Florida, they have banned abortion. What happens when you are doing a surrogacy journey in Florida and for some medical reason, as for example, a situation, a medical situation, a genetic chromosomal situation in which that baby's life could be greatly affected, or quality of life, then in that case, by medical order, that termination can be scheduled out of state. And a lot of people have been trying to fearmonger, say, oh, now intended parents don't want to do surrogacy in Florida because of that. So no, don't worry about that. That is not an issue. Don't let that stop you from wanting to become an intended parent. And in order to avoid all of that stuff, I'm going to speak a little bit of embryo quality. I know, anything can happen. So yes, we want to think ahead a little bit. We don't want to think about that, but we want to plan ahead. We want to have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. Remember, this video is only for entertainment purposes only. No professional legal advice, no professional financial advice, no professional mental health advice, no professional legal advice. This is not a fertility source. Okay, now we're going to be talking about embryo quality here in a little bit. You want to become a surrogate, right? And you do not know how much you want to ask for. So a lot of agencies, you're going to see that they're going to have a compensation package on their website. So basically, you really want to take a look at that. And what I like to do, I like to go over it with the surrogates that I recruit, because it's very important that they know, experienced surrogates are very familiarized, so they just go straight to the package and look at it. But I want to tell some potential surrogates to please be careful when you sign up with a new agency. Don't sign up blindly and just let them schedule later on an appointment with a financial counselor or whatever. No, they are really supposed to go over everything with you, or encourage you to go to the website that explains everything, like you guys have seen me in the videos. I put the link, or sometimes I even put it as an overlay, all the details from the compensation package, and I will be more than happy to go over it also with you as well, over the phone, over Messenger, over Zoom, meeting Teams, what have you. You're going to see a lot of the times that some agencies are not going to be transparent. They're going to tell you, for example, this is going to be an example. They're going to tell you, first time surrogates, for example, 63,000 plus, in like a very strange kind of like way. And yes, it's very normal that agencies put up to 100,000 or up to 85,000. It's normal, that's not personally my liking, but I do make sure that when I am consulting somebody, I am very transparent of where all that comes from. And you should ask the agency that you're working with exactly how the compensation package is broken down. So back to the example that I was giving. Make sure, please do not miss a second of this video, because everything that I'm going to say is super important. I am going to give an example of somebody that I was having a conversation with the other day. And this is a conversation that I have like almost every day. So it's like, for example, they say, oh, in this place, they're offering me more money. And then I ask them, okay, what is the place? Because we would like to see if we can, beat that amount of money. Although it's kind of like strange, because it really doesn't really defeat the purpose of surrogacy. But yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and check it out. So they give me the name of the agency. I make a very thorough investigation. I pull out the compensation package. For example, if it's an out of state compensation package, if the agency was based in California or what have you, I pull it out, and then I start looking at it, and then I tell them, hey, did you actually take a look at this? Did they go through this with you? They'll probably tell me, no, they said that they were going to, set up an appointment one day, but I already started the process with them. And I'm like, don't start the process with them unless you have gone through the whole entire compensation package and they have explained to you. When I was taking a look at that compensation package, it was saying, for example, I'm not going to say the exact number, but it was saying something like 63 plus. But then when you go to the next line, it says, oh, 40 something thousand as base compensation. And then the rest are the bonuses. And I was telling her, look, so for the agency that I represent, we were actually offering to you this certain amount, which was, on top of what this package is actually saying, plus on top of that, all the other bonuses that include the legal clearance sign-on bonus, plus the allowance, etc., maternity clothes, all that maternity clothes bonus, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so, and they were like, oh, and that's because the agency failed to give transparency on how exactly everything was broken down. You have to be very, very, very careful. Yes, they can have a very attractive poster or a very attractive marketing strategy, but they have to be transparent of how everything is broken down. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. Also, this happens a lot with experienced surrogates, and it's not a reason to it's nothing to be joked about. But I do, if you ask for my opinion and you tell me, Melissa, I'm an experienced surrogate, how much I should charge or how much I should negotiate, how should I negotiate the base compensation? I would tell you, look, be fair. Yes, I know that it's your body, and I know that you are worth a lot. But if you do ask for an extreme amount of money, there's going to be a few situations that may arise. It will be extremely hard to match you because there are so many other surrogates that are just basically sticking to the average base compensation amount because they want to make sure that that they're doing this for the love of humanity, for the love of helping a family's dream come true. Now when you let when you let humility and confidence take over, and you become overly confident, in my opinion, this is my opinion, not the opinion of any business or agency that I may partner with. When you do that, then it looks like you are selling yourself. The intended parent is paying for the process of the pregnancy, whether that baby is stillborn or whether that baby was born alive. They are paying for the process of pregnancy. They're not paying for a baby. So they're not paying for a beauty contest. They're not paying whether you have the best health of all the surrogates. They're not paying because you are a beautiful influencer or whatever. No. They're paying for the process, and they're paying for responsibility. So it doesn't matter how pretty you are, it doesn't matter how much education you have. Yes, education is important when you do become an egg donor, but I am not specialized in egg donation, but yeah, that's actually important. But surrogacy, if you're doing gestational surrogacy, they're not going to be using your eggs, so that's not going to matter. What's going to matter is a lot of responsibility, stability, um, and being able to do everything possible to make sure that that baby is healthy. So if you ask me, I will tell you, be fair. Because if you're not fair, then it beats the purpose of surrogacy. Okay, you also have to remember, yes, it's your body and you go through a lot, but you are still doing this voluntarily. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but um you are still volunteering. You're still volunteering to take the risk, so just be careful. Be careful. If you really want to do this for love, and don't do it for the wrong motives. And just keep in mind, these are going to be the questions too that they're going to ask you during the psychological evaluation. I do have a video on the psychological evaluation. You can find it in my playlist, IVF, Infertility, and Surrogacy, Part 1. That playlist contains information of the agency that I previously recruited for. So I don't work for them anymore. And by the way, I love them. We have an amazing relationship, but I currently do not recruit for them. But yes, that video on the psychological evaluation contains amazing information. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. If you don't have any questions, or if you feel too shy to ask, don't worry. I have a lot of information coming up. Okay. What are some of the questions that I should ask my intended or prospective intended parents before matching? There is a lot of questions that you may ask, but if you ask me, everybody has their own preferences, right? If you ask me, what should be the number one question that I should give most importance to? Oh my God, this life covers a lot more. I thought it only covered up to here. It covers there. I can see my shorts from the other screen. I better move here. Okay. Oh my God. All right. So the ridiculous, totally ridiculous. Okay. So if you ask me, Melissa, what is the most important question you can ever think about, when you are meeting intended parents. I'm going to tell you the number one question would be, or questions, how many embryos do you have? But if it was in my case, I would ask the intended parents, do you have at least 3 embryos that we can work with in one contract? Are those embryos PGT tested? Are those embryos day 5? Were those embryos graded? And I do have a lot of information on that. You're going to be able to find that information in my description and why exactly. One of the reasons why you guys are going to see me always in my videos speaking of embryo quality is because, well, due to experience and due to everything that I have been able to see, it is, to me, it's very dangerous to work with just one embryo. And don't take everything that I say with a grain of salt. It is no legal advice, no life coaching advice, no professional advice whatsoever. I'm just telling you what I would do and what I would ask. Okay, so here's the thing. You could have an embryo that was tested normal, right? An euploid embryo. And then let's say, for example, it was graded high, let's say, or it was graded excellent or good. Those would be 5AA, 5AB, 4AA, and 4AB. Those are excellent ones. Let's say, for example, anything around it and just a very thin line around it, good. You could have an excellent embryo tested, graded very high, and it's still, the clinics are going to tell you 65%, 75%, whatever, 65%, but it's still around half. It's half and half chances. Okay, and basically, there's a lot of risk when you accept to work with an embryo that was low quality or was not tested. So you're going to see some intended parents that they're going to tell you, well, I have one embryo, but I do work with the most renowned fertility clinic in the United States. All the reviews, and they have a very high success rate. This doctor has been recognized by this institution or by this magazine or what have you. It's not going to be about the doctor or about the success rates. This is really going to come down to embryo quality. And so you're going to have to be very careful with that. Consider this, if you consider factors like timing, and factors like how many embryos there are available, right? Because especially if there's only one embryo available, then you want to ask that. I personally would not go with just one embryo unless I knew and could see myself with a digital copy, the results. Other than that, no. And that's because, you go through a process that involves a lot of injectable medications. Who knows? You may end up using more progesterone that you may think. You may end up using steroids like prednisone that will affect your body in certain ways. Like, for example, getting these side effects. You may end up using other medications like Lupron, Zaparin. All of these things are things to consider. And then when you add more and more cycles, those things, can take a toll on your body, and what if you weren't diligent about the embryo quality? You just wanted to start a surrogacy journey right away. You raced to it, and then things start going down. Then the intended parents, I love intended parents. If any of you are watching, please don't take me wrong. I love you guys, but there are some of them that have not been educated fully And they may actually, because I have seen this before, some surrogates feel gaslit because they make them feel like, oh, they didn't do the injections well, and that's why the embryo didn't stick. And maybe there was a problem that was undetected from the surrogate, and no, okay. And this is why I really encourage you guys to make sure about that. Okay, so moving on, you guys. Okay, yes, and this happens also. If you want to do if you are done with the first surrogacy journey and you want to do a second surrogacy journey, um, and a lot of people say, hey, I want to make sure that I get an experienced carrier that whose first transfer worked, and there are so many things that play a role for a first transfer to actually work. And like I said again, even if the embryo was of excellent quality, it still has a 50% chance. So I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I do believe embryo quality comes first, period. That's my personal belief. Okay, just my personal belief. All right. Now, what to do if if a miscarriage happens, or if there is preterm labor that ended in a stillbirth. Okay. Um, since surrogacy already requires that you count with an excellent support system, yes, there are agencies that do offer support, and there are agencies that they offer psychological support, like, for example, the surrogacy agency that I currently represent does offer psychological support. However, I do personally recommend that you do resort to your resort, to your resort. Woo, let's go to the resort. Let's go to the pool. I do recommend that you do resort to your own support system, besides any other psychological support. Why? Before before trying to rely on the intended parent support. And this is why the intended parents are going to be going through a, a very deep, dark grieving process. So you may notice them backing off a little bit. And I have seen surrogates that have said, oh, I just can't believe, we just went through a miscarriage, and the intended parents, they're just so distant now. They don't want to talk with me right now. Like, I mean, what's even going to happen? It's not that they hate you. Yes, they might have these second thoughts, like, oh, like, what if she did something wrong, but that's just, let it be temporary. If somebody harasses you with that, trust me, that's a red flag. I really hope you had known them better before matching with them. But um intended parents go through a very tough grieving process. So it is completely normal if they do distance themselves a little bit. Give them time, because even if you have other embryos left to work with, they're going to need some time to heal. So I will encourage you to resort to the psychological assistance resources that your agency offers. And also, or if you're going independent, I don't recommend going independent. It's a headache, it's added stress to your pregnancy. It only benefits intended parents, in my opinion. um Resort to your family, and they're going to be there to give you all the support, that the closest people to you. Give them some time, because anyways, sometimes it takes, like a month, if your doctor approves going to another cycle on the month thereafter, or whether he wants to skip a month. Yeah, take that time to heal, and don't demand that much attention from the intended parents. And if they don't want to talk at all, just give them some time, give them a little time, Don't question them. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and scratch this so I don't. Remember, I do have a lot of links in the description, so make sure that you do check those out. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to put them here in the live chat. I will be happy to answer them. If you feel too shy to do it or don't have any, want to continue listen, feel more than welcome. I have other things to talk about. You guys remember this video, you're going to be able to find it in the playlist IVF infertility and surrogacy part 2. If you would like to become a surrogate, in the pinned comments you're going to find the link that will take you to the form. Make sure that you mark down OneWorld Recruiter. That way that form makes it to me. That way I can get your application right away, work on it, and make sure that everything is done on time and processed quickly. Okay, going over really quick some of the requirements for the agency that I work for currently. You have to be a mom between the ages of 29 to 39 years old. No complicated pregnancies. If you had gestational diabetes, for example, it had to be controlled with diet. No mental health related medications during the last within the last 6 months. You need to be in a stable home environment, financially stable home environment, no illicit drugs, no alcohol abuse. Just basically have a healthy lifestyle. You're going to be able to find the rest of that list in a video that I have that it's called Surrogate Application Process USA. You're going to be able to find that video in the description below. So don't exit right now my live. Wait until the live is over, and then after that you can go ahead and click on it so you can learn exactly how I will work through your application. Okay, let's keep going with the live, you guys. Okay, remember this video is only for entertainment purposes only. No professional advice, no fertility professional advice, no mental health advice, no financial professional advice. Okay, you guys, let's see what else. If you have any questions, remember to write me on the email that you see in the title here or in the description below. Okay, I already talked about this, so I'm gonna go ahead and scratch this. Oh, also, if you have any questions that you would like for me to answer during the next live, it all really depends, when the next live is going to be. Depends how many questions I take. I'll make sure that I include them. Oh, there is one question that I know gets searched up a lot on Google. How can I become a surrogate for a celebrity? And I would like to tell you that there are just a little bit over 1,000 surrogates that give birth every year, maybe around 1,300, something like that. I think that's how the numbers are right now, more or less. Take it with a grain of salt. Knock on wood. Okay, so just imagine how many celebrities, become parents or second-time parents or third-time parents via surrogacy. You probably hear of only like one or two every year. So it's basically a 1 out of like 1,300 chances, So yeah, so you can't ask for it, if it happens, then it happens, So basically that is it. And if it does happen, most of the time these celebrities, they do require a huge confidentiality agreement. Okay, you have to be a very responsible person that yes, you can be, you could be an advocate of surrogacy or whatever, but you have to make sure that you are not going to share something that will put at risk throwing out any identifiables. Some celebrities, they're open with having a very nice relationship, close relationship. Some celebrities, they want to make sure that they practice healthy boundaries within their own definitions of healthy boundaries. and they prefer to have a very private arrangement. And I do support that because why not? They're the parents. Okay, so um, if you ask me, should I match with somebody that has not made embryos yet? Let's say, for example, you start meeting these, new intended parents in Facebook groups. There's a lot of parents that have gone through a lot of infertility issues for years, but they have not resorted yet to a reproductive endocrinologist. They have not made embryos yet. So out of desperation, and this is nothing to be made fun of, but out of desperation, they will post a message on Facebook saying, I need a surrogate that's responsible, that's available, that's committed. I am so tired of like talking to people and them talking to me. And, you know, I do not personally recommend that you get tied down to a couple or to an intended parent that has not made embryos yet, because there are a lot of things that could happen in the journey. There are things that could happen, under your circumstances, under their circumstances. They may be going through, who knows, they could be going through divorce. Maybe one of their relatives um, may be sick. Maybe there could be a huge loss in their household or anything like that. And you could end up waiting months and months, maybe years, because you emotionally got so attached to them. And this is why I don't believe in getting too emotionally attached to an intended parent or intended parents, because just anything can happen. um and that's just me, and anything, my opinion is not the same opinion of any other businesses that I may partner with. Okay, but I do not recommend getting tied up to a family or a single parent that hasn't prepared embryos yet. The clock keeps ticking, and like I said, um they might not be it. So once you're ready, once you have been cleared by your OB, um, if you really want to do the journey, and time is, in essence, time is essential, then you want to make sure that you get paired with intended parents that have already made embryos. Okay. Let's say, for example, anything else. Let me go ahead and scratch all of this stuff that okay. I wouldn't make any promises to them that you can't keep, because you could tell them, yeah, let's match. Don't match officially with any parents unless you're really gonna stick with them. Why? Because if then they see you talking with somebody else, and this happens a lot, through Facebook or something. They see you looking for somebody else, they're gonna ask you, wait, what happened? And sometimes they think you matched with them just because you talked with them. There is no official match unless you both say, hey, it's an official match. It's almost like going Facebook official. Hey, it's not official until it's Facebook official or Instagram official. It's just an example, right? Make sure there's always transparency. Why? Because it can just go down south. It can get really nasty. Okay. Even if you did have a contract with them, yeah, just keep the transparency, just for ethical purposes, and all that. Okay, if you want to ask Melissa, what kind of intended parents I should match with, you are welcome to match with any type of intended parents. I do like to advocate for single intended parents by choice, and that is because the maybe they have not gone through a lot of infertility issues. We don't know their past histories, right? Maybe they were with other partners. But I do like to encourage having an open mind, and being open to work with a single intended parent, whether it's a woman or a man, because I do believe that we are born with a paternal instinct, and there are so many circumstances that may arise And we start getting older and we're just like, wait a minute, I haven't found the right person, but I do believe I am going to be an excellent parent. And I do believe that even though I am a one figure, I do have all the tools that I need to be able to nurture that child. Um, and this is just out of the religious spectrum. I personally believe you do not need a mother and a father. You need, if there's a mother and a father, a mom, or a father and a father, and that's completely fine as long as that kid has, the right love and the right guidance when they're growing, right, throughout the years. Okay, but let's normalize single intended parents too, because they are just as amazing as couples. Also, just being extremely strict with whoever you match with, because you are Christian, very Christian, or belonging to another religion that is very strict. Yes, it is highly respected. I personally respect that. But also, I do have another side, another opinion with that. It does defeat the purpose of surrogacy, because if, for example, if Christianity encourages you not to judge anyone, that you shouldn't judge who you will be working. But that's just me. That's my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. I would just encourage you, as a person that believes in humanity, to forget about who it is. Forget about what religion they are. Be human, be kind. And that is just me, right? Okay. But yes, I really, really, really do encourage, be willing to work with single intended parents, be willing to work with gay couples, be willing to work with Christians, be willing to work with the Jewish, the Muslims, the Buddhists, all kinds of people from all walks of life. You have to remember that these people are screened thoroughly through the clinics. There are social workers that come visit them. They go through psychological screenings. The agencies, everybody makes sure that they have all their ducks in a row, that they are in the right mindset, that they are in the right moment in time where they can actually start a journey. Okay, if you have any questions, don't feel afraid to actually put them in our live chat. Remember, the direct link to apply to the agency that I work for, it's going to be pinned in the comments. You're also going to be able to find it in the description below. Okay, another question. Okay, let's see. What happens if I have an IUD or Nexplanon? I'm sorry if I don't know how to pronounce those. If you have an IUD, it's totally fine if you have it. They'll, the reproductive endocrinologist is just going to instruct you to take it off right before they start the first cycle for the embryo transfer attempt. And that's it. Same thing with Nexplanon. And if you're on birth control pills, yes, you're just fine to be using them until the reproductive endocrinologist tells you, hey, it's time to end them, it's time to start them, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. Okay. Are there any risks associated with fertility after I finish my surrogacy journey? Yes, there are risks. So before you start a surrogacy journey, you should be aware of there could be things that could arise. For example, there could be, although unlikely, in a rare instance, there are women that have had to go through a hysterectomy, or there may be some hormonal imbalances that may keep a woman from becoming pregnant the next time. So that in that case, it's very important that you make sure that you are done growing your family, just in case. But and let me tell you something. I know of a lot of surrogates that have had kids and even twins after their surrogacy journeys. Okay, and a lot of them, you'll see them on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. Okay, next question. Why people call surrogacy journeys, human trafficking. It's because people don't understand, people are not educated. The surrogacy journey is not human trafficking because the intended parents are paying for the process of the pregnancy, whether the baby is born alive or whether it ends in a stillborn baby. They still have to pay for the process of surrogacy. So a lot of people will say, oh, I just support adoption. I don't support buying a baby. Yes, I respect the fact that they support adoption, but there's a lot of parents that do have, and they have all the right to crave to have a biological child, and that's something also that we have to respect, right? So let's respect that, and let's respect the fact that they're able to afford the technology. So let's leave them be. They have all the right to become parents of their own biological children, especially if we do have the technology to do so, and if they're prepared financially to do so. um, all these things that people are saying, like, it's some religious people, they say that it's a disgrace, that it goes against what God wants. um, all these people that consider themselves religious and don't believe in this technology, I have a question for you. If God doesn't want us to be able to man make things that will make our lives better, or our quality of life better, and be able to bring people, show them a good example of what an adult should be in the future, giving them the right love. Because let me tell you, all these intended parents are waiting to become the best parents in the world. How come you are using, and this goes to the people that like to talk about the threats to IVF and all that stuff. How come you use technology to cook yourself a meal? Instead, you can find some logs, right? Set a little fire in your backyard and cook your food like that. No, you use technology to make your life better, right? You use a car to transport yourself, or an Uber or a Lyft or a train or a plane to transport yourself. You're using man-made technology to make your life better. If you want to make it all about really, here comes the real me, because I can't just keep it in for too long. Um, you use all these things from technology, medications, vitamins, all these things, that were extra things that were man-made to be able to have a good quality of life. You have a computer to see things. Maybe sometimes you'll be seeing things that you're not supposed to be seeing. See what I'm saying? Then why are you going to say that all these people that are deciding to become parents through surrogacy are going against God? Well, first practice being without all the technology before talking, and stop streaming your religious services with cameras via all social media, because all of that was man-made too, was not made by God. All right. So yeah, there is no threat to IVF. If IVF or surrogacy was banned, the economy in the medical industry and in the education field would think. It would think like crazy. It's just like, this is my opinion, guys. Remember, any of my opinions that I put out here have nothing to do with any of the businesses that I partner with. These opinions are just mine. So again, if IVF or surrogacy were to disappear in the United States, the economy would sink dramatically. Why? Because the reproductive endocrinologists would be losing their jobs. No, they wouldn't be able to. The education field wouldn't be able to get the money from the people that want to become reproductive technologists. endocrinologists, excuse me, they would go somewhere else, because that's their passion, right? The intended parents will go to another country where it's legal because there people are working on doing progress, right? Here in the United States, we don't even have to worry about that because we are almost now fully legal. Okay, like I said in the beginning of the video, Michigan is still illegal. Michigan is still illegal. Bill was signed in April, but remember, um, the law won't take effect until 90 days after the legislature session is over in December 31st, 2024. So consider that. But anyways, I gave all that information in the beginning. Okay. Last question. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you don't, that's fine. Try to send them over to my email address and I'll be able to answer to them in the next live or just right there, in the email. But if you want me to put them out in the next live, just let me know. Okay, the last question. Will my journey go smoothly? So as long as you do everything that you are instructed to do from the beginning, you're going to make it a lot easier. Yes, there's going to be, mostly, yes, it's going to go smoothly, but we don't know what's going to happen. There may be some medical situations that may arise, right? But I want to tell you, be careful when you see certain journeys being portrayed online where everything is all about a fairy tale and you'll be like, oh my god, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do a gender reveal like that. So cool too. I wish I could do baby shower. I wish I could have an amazing relationship like how these influencers have it or what have you. That's not the reality of all. A lot of these influencers have had situations in the past where things went down and it went down like super viral and it wasn't pretty. But in general, it's not a fairy tale. It's a beautiful, magical journey, but it's like being in a marriage. You have to work things out a lot, just like if it was a marriage, there may be some headbutting. Okay, and then the next day everyone is fine. Now, if there is something like harassing or somebody getting out of order, and there is something that cannot be resolved, depending on what the contract says. For example, some contracts say if something's not resolved within 24 to 48 hours, then consult the fertility lawyer that belongs to you. Usually, this is why I recommend agencies, because the agencies are there to help you mediate any situation and make things a lot better, right? So yes, again, if you're interested in becoming a surrogate, go ahead and check out the links below. I have a barcode on the thumbnail that will help you fill out the form. After you fill out the form, make sure you send me a message, an email, and say, hey, my name is, you give me your full name and say, I just filled out the form. Can you please check, and I will get to it right away. But if you want me to expedite it, you have to send me an email so it does not get sent to the back burner. Okay, you guys, if you found this video likable, interesting, valuable, and you want it to be spread among other people that need to be educated in the world of surrogacy, please hit the like button, and if possible, share with your peers, because I would really appreciate that, and that would mean a lot that you are being supportive as well. Thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful day.